For ADAS related, which is being copied in IS. Mr. Manoj is here, he is leading that along with Madhu. So there we have to quickly actually bring alignment, and we should pick up the low hanging fruits and implement it for ensuring that the innovative lighting solutions gives us immediate benefit on ADAS related road fatality management, so that drivers are able to actually take the benefit. And as far as the lighting goes, apart from the vision requirement, the night vision conspicuity requirement, even I believe that ADAS has a lot to do with the even interiors. If you see the interior lighting management, what happens, it also has an impact on the driver's safety, because for example buses and all, where the drivers have lesser visibility because of the internal cabins are not properly lit. So I believe a lot to do in this area, and today's topic has really brought a lot of, like as you mentioned, good solutions which Indian customers are likely to get. But at the same time, for existing vehicles, also some work needs to be done, because market is huge for that. So as an association member here, we are actually initiating some initiative under called Surakshit Safar, which translates into Safe Journey. Under that initiative, we are picking up lighting as one of the actually segment where we will be contributing.
Thank you. That's really interesting, this Surakshit Safar. So I'll make session a little more interesting. We are now removing the order from the session. 10 minutes is free for all. You have certain views, certain thoughts, you want to speak something. So I don't want you to depend on my moving the mic to you or calling your name. 10 minutes for everybody. Feel free, anybody wants to speak and challenge each other, and also talk about the challenges that we have in the industry. We all know what to do, but we are not able to do. There are certain challenges. So let's talk about it for next 10-12 minutes, and then we'll open it for the house to ask one or two questions. Over to you all.
So what I was trying to tell that time, Uday was talking regarding the training part, which is the drivers and drivers training. I think ADAS can go a long way even in that respect. So what happens now with so much of data for the driver, when the same equipment which is assisting the driver is also creating incidences and the near miss situations, and that data is already being used by some companies today to train their drivers. So it should work, it will work. Now what I would like to really tell for the lighting fraternity is, can we reimagine the ADAS, not the way it has been done from the need of the Western world? And when we reimagine with the affordability, I think I really need more of what Mr. Todd Morgan just talked, that without adding the cost, with the existing setup what we have, can we create that intelligence by software? That means we are not talking about adding the capital intensive or the hardware cost, but today you have a lot of hardware already in. I think lighting professionals can take a big lead because they have been doing it, and the sensor fusion which a lighting industry can do, because they have been working on safety all along. I have a huge appreciation for these professionals that they can manage, and I would like to really not challenge them but welcome them if they can integrate this. The only constraint I have is people will not pay for it. So why can't we make it variable, software based, use the data and come back? Because I tell you the very simple ADAS intervention we did both in assistance and training in this room. With Mr. Joshi, we launched something called Drive Safe Club, where the drivers were given the driving rating. Simple thing, just to give them the driving rating, how good they are driving. Mr. Gadkari launched it here itself, and there is a possibility of using this data again, not only for training, but his relationship with the vehicle. So having said that, I think lighting professionals can really lead it. This is my confidence. We must have to reimagine things, unlike what has been until now.
I agree. I think just to add on that, I think I agree with what you're saying. But we need to build our technical competency. Yeah, we need to build both on the OEM side and on the supplier side knowledge of how to implement functional safety. ISO 26262. We need to have our companies being compliant to ASPICE compliance. There are pockets of that. Definitely, there are pockets of hope. But I don't think that it's consistently deployed. And without those requirements being put in, and that discipline and that knowledge, because this doesn't happen overnight. To get to ASPICE 3, there's a lot of work behind, yeah? And to do functional safety correctly, it has to also be done on the OEM side. So there's a lot of knowledge transfer, competency building that needs to occur now, so that when it's time to really truly implement ADAS applications on a grander scale and integrate complete systems, we have that knowledge and competency built up.
One thing I'd like to add is that, I think, I'm into fitness and, I like to run marathons, and I think we've got to work in alliances, right? I think one thing that needs to change a little bit more, I've also come from an automotive background. I think this is not a sprint, and in the marathon, the Kenyans run the first, 20 odd kilometers together, and then the last 6, everyone for themselves. And I think in this country, if we want to bring, we want to do what we're all talking about, I think it's an extremely important part that we all work together in alliances. It doesn't matter whether you're an automotive supplier, a lighting supplier, if you're an OEM. I think if we put our minds together in this time, I think we can achieve a lot. And I think this is something that needs to be done more and more. And an alliance-based, environment and one more thing, I'm not asking for the government. I think it's time also we all stepped up and said, not what the government, in India we say, Modi ji talked about cleaning the country. Well, if Modi ji can't take out a broom and clean this whole country, we don't clean it ourselves, right? So I think instead of complaining and instead of asking the government to do more, let's all of us, men, women, all of us working together and building this a better country. And I think all of this, listen, we've got half of the Indians running the companies in the United States. We have all the people here. It's just that we don't work together. And I think we need to work together. I'm sorry, I just want something like, it's very important that I think I need to talk about. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to share some of my absolutely hardcore experience while developing ADAS for India. Basic job was already done, so I didn't have to create it. But to get it practical and applicable for India, it was a huge work. We started off with level 1. We said we will not jump. We will start with level 1. Let us see how it works. But the surprises are so huge. While we were collecting the data, we would have collected the data for nearly 9 to 10 months, about 15 cars. Two-wheeler scooters, one kind of pattern. Then suddenly it will come in front and suddenly it will go away. Before it can respond, it goes away as well. So, even the sensors, they get confused. The biggest surprise we got in one location is, we thought we had done quite a good job, and then suddenly from a tree, a bunch of monkeys jumping in front of the car. What do you do about that? Not that every time monkeys will come in front, but I'm saying that the number of the surprises are so huge, and we cannot afford to make something which will cause an accident because I have given an ADAS and given a comfort. Another thing which I want to say is, look, today our expressways and the super expressways are really superb. A lot of people, they have good quality cars and they have started driving long distances, maybe 10 hours, 12 hours. In between, maybe once or twice they break. What happens is, during these long hours, their attention is not necessarily on the road. They are thinking their business, their profession, their family, everything. So there are two eyes, one brain, all the time thinking. But with ADAS, there are sensors sitting, it's all the time working. Actually, it is helping you at the time when it requires to be told to you. So one is, it is letting you know in advance the emergency coming in front. And the other thing is, even if you are still lethargic and not attentive, there are AEB. I mean, slowly, it's not that it will jam the brake and then the rear fellow will come and hit you. It's not that. It will slow down the car and automatically you are alerted. Still you are lazy, then the deceleration will be maybe of the order of 4.4 G. And then if it still goes, it will actually jam the brake, and if you are lucky, you will stop, or if you are not, at least you will hit where the injury criteria will be less. So basically I'm saying that the Indian roads are changing. the usage of car for long is going to be more. Then at the same time, people are not attentive. But this device, which is one brain, two eyes, plus n number of sensors which is working together, is going to help enormously. And my personal experience while driving says that I think this is the solution. I mean, the technology is the solution for India. It's not the discipline of human being teaching in the schools or college. I just want to mention that in the morning, early morning, what you see is yellow buses. You know, the school children, they are taken by those buses. The most indisciplined buses are those yellow buses. I'm not talking about Delhi. In India, every city, they have got certain, I would say, pattern, which is the school bus pattern. Kids are sitting there, driver is indisciplined, kids are learning. This is the way it is to be driven. In the morning, even the parents, they take their kids to drop to the school. They are late. So he is also reckless driving the car. What is kid learning? He's learning that this is the way it is to be driven. In two-wheeler, in front, kid is sitting, good wind, he is enjoying, breaking the traffic signal. They are learning that from small age. How do you correct it? The only way to correct is technology. This is my view.
That's great. We have our last 5 minutes for express your views and yeah.
Last two because I was learning and summarizing because homework is equally important. So after two action is also important. After no action talking only. So thank you, Mr. Uday. I think you have excited me, my engineer inside heart. Safety is the priority issue in India. And you look at styling, you look at animations, you look at all fancy things OEMs are driving. Since there is no enforcement, this is not being considered. Second, the mindset issue. That's why we have created ILF. Let's see how it moves. It was created long back. So we're not ready to work together for the common objective with divided principle of doing your own business. So that's another problem. However, try. We are trying. So ILF forum is registered. I think thanks to IJOL committee. They have displayed Indian Automotive Lighting Forum. And I have taken notes of talk. I think collaboration, there are already systems in place. Now I'm developing one advanced lighting with one OEM. So both of us are learning, but we decided what we have to make. So they're not deciding. And hardware-based input, software-based input. So basically software part nobody wants to touch. After 10 years, 5 years, people are now starting touching software because they don't have any choice. There is intense competition. No? They cannot sell big. So now softwares, BCMs are being amended. A lot of local issues were there, but it was not applicable. So in between, in Europe, a lot of adaptive systems came with the local issue. And BCM was still same. We were not doing that. So basically, I have summarized actions in the current scenario. That's why Vinda has punchline this time. Light is no more plastic. It's electronics, optronics, and currently softronics. So we are struggling a lot, but we are best brain in the world, and we are doing all the software for all the world in Bangalore. And we also did recently 11 labs. So booster headlamp is one example done at one level. The glare-free headlamp auto beam can be done with a simple auto approach because we drive with high beam and reduce glare and there is accident. Safety is the primary issue. Then cornering action is already taking place. In the four-wheeler, Tata has already done it. In a static way, in the dynamic way also. E-braking system, adaptive braking system, it's very simple to activate this. So we can define the short-term roadmap with SIAM and ACMA, and we can enforce this at our level. No need MODI, no need ICAP, no need ARM. This forum can do it. No need anybody, no regulation required. So I summarize, safety innovation is the important factor now. With this, earlier I used to talk India driven by cost innovations, frugal way. So safety innovation should be the slogan. Maybe ILF will take it. And earlier I used to say light is to see, to drive, and light is to communicate. But I learned that this is still valid for safety, for autonomous driving, for ADAS. Light is to enhance the visibility through the ADAS active, and then light is to communicate to the roadside people and also the inside driver to change the human video alert, drive it safely, communicate, there is a hazardous signal. So I think with this kind of slogan and punch, we can excite our engineers, and we can do a lot without regulations, implementations and expectations. In the Surakshit Safar, I think ILF can contribute a lot in existing vehicle on the road, where we are proud to be a number 1 in the population and number 3 in automotive. This proud is also a big problem for the safety. So thank you very much from my side. These are the homework to the ILF, for.
So last comment now from Mr. Banerjee.
I think it's very exciting, and for lighting fraternity experts present here under Surakshit Safar, SIAM would like to actually propose that there have been stretches where the accident data analysis basis, there is a finding that most of the accident happen because of the conspicuity issues, wherein either the improper lighting or the darkness leads to the accidents. So can there be some stretches adopted, and maybe can there be some kind of innovative solutions being provided through experts present here on the existing vehicle of a different category? Can there be some interventions which we can actually, as a very, very pilot experiment, we can conduct, and Sam would be very happy to support under Surakshit Safar. And of course join hands with all as the collaboration is the key to success.
I think Mr. Ben, I'll just add one. But we talked regarding, I think Mr. Dave was talking about technology had solution. But I think I would also like, when I expect that lighting engineers should get into that direction, I also would like, where should they start? What technology should prioritize? So today, whatever we have, the copy-paste ADAS, we might have to first look into what Mr. Banerjee said, where are the accidents and how the accidents are happening. Indian behavior is different. For example, if you have a hump or a speed breaker, rather than stopping or braking, our habit is, this is again coming from the research, our habit is to go left and right. We actually take a left turn or a right turn just to avoid the hump. And that is where what you are asking, even on the highways, you have two-wheeler coming from nowhere. In fact, we did one stretch but with SIAM and Ministry of Road Transport, a driving of vehicle by ladies from Amritsar to Kanyakumari on camera with all the gadgets and telematics, huge data we could collect it. And there's a lot of this which is so unique behavior. You can't get this into other ADAS data system that this can, so something which is unimaginable are there on our roads. So my request to the lighting engineers should be that the collaboration between the crash research fraternity, the road safety people and the component manufacturers has to happen on a daily basis. There is enough data which we can pull up, and this collaboration can then prioritize which technology we have to bring first.
Alright, so as a moderator, I take the lead here, and any panel discussion is good when people want to speak more. But we open it to audience to make it more interactive. A couple of questions from anybody to anybody here.